close your eyes for a moment. Imagine it's late evening, and your home is wrapped in a soft, familiar silence. You zip up your suitcase, feeling the smooth slide of the zipper as if it's sealing away the noise of daily life. Your phone is on silent, the lights are low, and there's a gentle stillness in the air. Tonight, you're not just going on a trip. You're walking slowly toward a different kind of calm. You slip on your shoes and open the door. The hallway outside feels a little cooler, and your footsteps echo softly as you head toward the elevator or stairs. Every step away from your room is a step away from the usual worries, the notifications, the small obligations that fill your days. You don't have to deal with any of that right now. There's only you, your suitcase, and a plane ticket with a single word printed on it. Finland. Outside, the night air greets you. Maybe it's chilly, maybe it's mild, but it feels different now that you know you're leaving for somewhere far away. You climb into the car or taxi that will take you to the airport, the seatbelt clicking gently into place. As the engine starts and the city glides by, lights blur into soft lines outside the window. Shops, traffic lights, the silhouettes of apartments, everything slowly becomes distant scenery. You lean your head against the window for a moment and think of what's ahead. Snow-covered forests, quiet streets, warm wooden saunas, the possibility of green lights dancing in the sky. You don't know exactly what will happen, but you know how you want to feel. Safe, calm, and gently carried toward sleep. The car moves along the highway. Overhead, the sky is either starry or hidden behind a blanket of clouds. You breathe a little deeper, letting your chest rise and fall in a slow, relaxed rhythm. The road hums beneath you, a steady sound like a lullaby sung by the city itself. Soon, airport lights appear in the distance like a small constellation on the ground. As you approach, you see the shape of the terminal, glass and steel glowing softly in the night. The car stops. You step out, the air at the airport just a bit cooler, just a bit sharper. You lift your suitcase, feeling its weight, and walk toward the sliding doors that open with a gentle whisper, like the first page of a new book turning by itself. Inside, the airport is a world of its own. Calm voices over speakers, the rolling sound of luggage wheels, the quiet presence of people who are going somewhere else too. You check your ticket again, destination, Helsinki, and feel a small, peaceful thrill in your chest. You're leaving your everyday life for a while, stepping into a slower story. You check in, hand over your suitcase, and feel lighter immediately. The bag rolls away on a belt, and with it go a few invisible burdens you've been carrying. At security, you take your time, following the instructions, placing your things in trays. Everything moves in a simple, gentle rhythm. Take off, place down, walk through, pick up, move on. When you finally pass into the departure area, you step into a space that feels like a pause between two chapters. You're not quite where you were, and not yet where you're going. You find your gate, maybe by a bottle of water, maybe a small snack. You sit down near the windows and look out at the quiet shape of planes resting on the tarmac, their lights blinking slowly in the darkness. As you sit there, you feel it. A soft distance growing between you and all the noise of your life. For now, there are no deadlines, no decisions to make, nothing to solve. There is only one thing ahead, your journey to Finland. And for tonight, that journey is already enough. You hear your flight being announced, and you stand up, calm and unhurried. Ticket in one hand, passport in the other. You join the slow-moving line, your mind already drifting towards snow, forests, and silent lakes. Your story has already begun. You step onto the plane, greeted by a soft, practiced smile and the quiet rustle of other passengers finding their seats. The cabin lights are dim, almost like the glow of a bedside lamp. You walk down the aisle, the carpet slightly springy under your feet, and find your seat by the window. You place your small bag in the overhead compartment, or gently under the seat in front of you. Then you sit down, fasten your seatbelt with a soft click, and let your hands rest on your lap. Outside, the runway lights wait like a dotted path into the darkness. Inside, the air is warm and still, A safe little cocoon suspended between here and there. People settle in. Someone carefully folds their coat. Another person adjusts their neck pillow. A child yawns and leans on a parent's shoulder. There's a soft murmur of voices, the quiet knock of luggage being shifted, a few short beeps from overhead panels. None of it is loud. Everything blends into a calm, gentle hum. The engines start not loudly, but with a deep, reassuring vibration that you feel more than hear. The cabin lights dim even more. Outside your window, airport buildings drift slowly past, and the plane turns, aligning itself with the runway. You feel the pause, the momentary stillness right before movement. Then, with a smooth push, you begin to roll. Faster, faster, as the runway lights slide by in long, soft streaks. You feel the pressure against your back, the slight pull as the nose of the plane lifts. For a second, your stomach flutters, and then the ground lets go. You're in the air now. The city below becomes a pattern of glowing points. Roads turn into soft lines, rivers into dark ribbons, everything growing smaller and gentler as you rise. You're leaving behind noise, schedules, arguments, unfinished tasks. High above all of that, it feels strangely simple. The plane levels out. The seatbelt sign glows quietly overhead, and you feel the gentle, continuous motion of flying, like being rocked in a very large cradle made of clouds and metal. The cabin is calm. Some people are already closing their eyes. Others put on headphones, immersing themselves in their own quiet worlds. You rest your head against the cool window. Outside, the night sky stretches endlessly. If the weather is clear, you might catch a faint scattering of stars. If it's cloudy, you see the soft, dark gray of invisible shapes drifting past. Either way, you know that beneath you, countries are sleeping. Lights dimmed in towns and cities, people resting in their homes, all wrapped in their own dreams. You adjust your posture, let your shoulders drop, and take a deeper breath. Inhale, exhale. The rhythm of your breathing begins to match the steady vibration of the plane. You don't need to think about what time it is or what you'll do tomorrow. Right now, you're just being carried through the sky, gently and safely, toward a place you haven't seen yet. A flight attendant passes by with drinks, the soft clink of cups on a small metal tray. You may take some water or warm tea, feeling the cup in your hands, the warmth on your fingers. The liquid soothes your throat, leaving behind a sense of comfort, as if your entire body is being told, "It's okay to rest now." When the cabin darkens further, screens glow softly here and there. You might close your eyes for a while, letting thoughts drift like clouds. If worries appear, you let them pass without grabbing them. You remind yourself, you're on your way to Finland, to cold air, warm interiors, peaceful streets, and the deep quiet of northern nights. You feel the minutes slip by. The plane continues its infinite, steady glide through the dark. Your eyelids grow heavier, muscles softer, mind slower. Somewhere high above Europe, between your home and Helsinki, you're already drifting into that soft, half-awake space where dreams begin to grow. And even before you land, a small part of you is already there, standing in the cold Finnish air, watching your breath turn into small clouds of white. The gentle chime of a sound you don't quite recognize brings you back. Cabin lights slowly brighten to a soft, morning-like glow. You blink, stretch a little in your seat, and hear the captain's calm voice announcing the descent into Helsinki. Outside the window, you see clouds parting, revealing a world painted in subtle colors. Gray-blue skies, dark forests, patches of snow or pale fields. The plane begins to lower, and you feel the slight pressure in your ears. The land below grows larger, more detailed. You catch glimpses of frozen lakes or wet asphalt, pine trees, clusters of houses with pitched roofs. Everything looks clean, quiet, and orderly, as if the country itself is whispering rather than shouting. With a gentle bump, the wheels touch down. The plane rolls along the runway, slowing, turning, making its way towards the terminal. You feel that familiar joy of arrival, mixed with a calm curiosity. You're in Finland now. Really here, even if your body is a bit sleepy and your thoughts are still drifting in the clouds. You step into the aisle, collect your bag, and follow the line of passengers out through the narrow corridor that connects plane and building. As you cross the threshold, you enter Helsinki Airport. Bright, clean, and quiet. The floors shine softly, signs are clear and simple, and there's a gentle order in the way everything flows. You follow the signs for passport control. The line moves calmly. When it's your turn, you hand over your passport, meet a neutral but polite gaze, answer a simple question if needed. A stamp, a nod, and you're through. A small beep from the gate marks your official entry into Finland. You walk to the baggage carousel. The belt moves slowly, luggage appearing one by one. You wait, listening to the soft mechanical hum, watching other people spot their bags and pull them away. Eventually, you see yours. Familiar, solid, like an old friend who has taken the same journey in silence. You lift it from the belt, the weight grounding you in this new place. Before you exit, you pause for a moment in the arrivals hall. Around you, there are signs written in Finnish, Swedish, and English. You see words you don't understand yet, but they sound soft, full of long vowels and gentle consonants. Tervetuloa means welcome, and though you may not know the translation immediately, the atmosphere around you says it clearly. You step outside for the first time. The Finnish air greets you with a cool embrace, crisp and fresh, maybe carrying a hint of snow, wet pavement, or the distant scent of pine. You exhale, and your breath appears in front of you like a small white cloud. The sky above feels wide and open, the daylight pale but honest. You roll your suitcase to the bus stop or train platform that leads into the city. The vehicles arrive on time, moving quietly, their interiors warm and calm. You board, find a seat by the window, and watch as the airport slides away behind you. As the bus or train enters the highway, the landscape opens up. You pass clusters of trees, low buildings, frozen or rain-slicked fields. The roads are clean, traffic is organized, and everything seems to move at a measured pace. No rush, no chaos, just a steady flow. With each kilometer, Helsinki comes closer. You feel it in a very gentle way. Not like a big city rushing at you, but like a quiet harbor you're slowly gliding into. Somewhere ahead, a hotel bed is waiting, a hot shower, a warm room, and the promise of a peaceful Finnish night. And as you sink a little deeper into your seat, you realize that your body is relaxing. Finland doesn't seem to be a place that demands anything from you. Feels like somewhere that simply lets you be. The bus or train glides into the city, and Helsinki appears around you. Clean streets, calm traffic, a mixture of modern glass buildings and older facades with simple, elegant lines. The colors are soft, whites, grays, muted blues, the warm glow of lights behind windows. Nothing is excessive. Everything is gentle. You step down at your stop, your suitcase wheels clicking softly over the pavement. The air feels a bit colder here, but in a pleasant way, like a cool hand placed on a warm forehead. You look up and see the sky stretching over the city, a deep evening blue or a pale, cloudy gray, depending on the season. You find your hotel, its entrance warmly lit on a quiet street. Inside, the lobby smells faintly of wood, coffee, and clean linens. Voices are low, footsteps soft. You check in at the reception, and the person behind the desk speaks to you in a calm, friendly tone, giving you your keycard and a small, welcoming smile. You take the elevator up. As the doors close, you're enclosed in a small, silent space, rising slowly above the city. When the doors open again, you step into a softly lit hallway, your footsteps muffled by the carpet. You find your door, tap the card, and hear the small click that opens your temporary home. Inside, your room is simple but comforting. A neatly made bed with white sheets, a window looking out over rooftops, or perhaps a quiet courtyard. A small desk, a chair, a lamp casting warm light over everything. The air smells of wood and clean fabric, with a hint of something subtle and fresh. You set your suitcase down and sit on the edge of the bed. For a moment you do nothing at all. You just breathe, feeling the soft give of the mattress beneath you, the quiet stillness of the room around you. You've traveled far, crossed the sky, moved through unfamiliar spaces, and now you're here in Helsinki, in a room that belongs entirely to you for tonight. You take a warm shower, the water washing away the feeling of the airplane, the long day, the weight of travel. Drops of water slide down your shoulders, your back, your legs, each one rinsing away a little more tension. When you step out, you feel lighter, cleaner, almost new. You change into something comfortable. Perhaps you make yourself a cup of tea from the small kettle in the corner. You wrap your hands around the warm mug and stand by the window. Outside, the city is calm. A few cars pass slowly, their headlights gliding along the streets. A tram might whisper by, its light sliding across building facades. Some windows glow softly. Others are dark, already asleep. You sip your tea and feel a deep calm spreading through you. Finland so far is exactly what you needed. Quiet, gentle, respectful. It doesn't expect you to be busy. It doesn't ask you to hurry. Just offers you a space to rest. You draw the curtains, leaving only a faint line of light around the edges. You turn off the main lamp, leaving just a bedside light glowing like a small, warm star. You slip under the covers, the sheets cool at first, then slowly warming to your body. As you lie there, listening to the distant, muffled sounds of the city, your thoughts move like slow waves. Tomorrow you'll explore, walk through streets, visit the harbor, maybe step into a cafe where the air smells of coffee and cinnamon. But that's for later. Tonight, Helsinki holds you gently in its quiet arms. Your eyelids grow heavier. Your breathing becomes slow and even. And as you drift into sleep, it feels as if the entire city is whispering the same simple message. Rest. You're safe here. When you wake, the room is filled with a soft Nordic light. Even if the sun is low in the sky or hidden behind clouds, the brightness filtered through the window feels clean and fresh, like a quiet invitation to start the day. You stretch under the covers, feeling your muscles slowly awaken, and for a moment you just lie there, listening. There's no harsh noise. No blaring horns, no shouting, no chaos. Maybe you hear the faint sound of a tram passing, a distant door closing, the gentle hum of the building around you. It's like waking up inside a calm, steady heartbeat. You sit up, put your feet on the floor, and take a deep breath. This is your first full day in Finland. Outside, the air is crisp. Inside, your room is warm and safe. You get ready slowly, without hurry. Washing your face, getting dressed in layers, choosing a scarf or hat if the season calls for it. You step out into the hallway, ride the elevator down, and move towards the breakfast area. The smell reaches you first. Freshly brewed coffee, warm bread, maybe eggs, berries, or porridge. The breakfast room is full of quiet morning energy. People speaking in low voices, the soft clink of cutlery, the occasional sleepy smile exchanged between strangers. You choose a table by the window if you can, and take a plate. There might be slices of dark rye bread, cheese, cucumber, tomatoes, perhaps some smoked fish, yogurt, and fruit. Maybe you try a bowl of warm oatmeal with berries on top, or a simple, comforting combination of bread and butter. You sit, eat slowly, and look out the window. You see pieces of Helsinki waking up, people walking to work, children bundled up in bright clothes, cyclists gliding along dedicated lanes. The sky above is pale and wide, and the cool northern light gives everything a quiet clarity. After breakfast, you step outside. The air wraps around you, cool and refreshing, and your breath appears briefly in front of you if it's cold enough. You walk along the streets, noticing the details. Clean sidewalks, simple but elegant buildings, small design shops, cafes with large windows and warm interiors. Soon you find your way to the harbor area. The Baltic Sea stretches out in front of you, a wide mirror of gray, blue, or silver, depending on the weather. Boats rest at the docks, gently rocking. If it's winter, the water may seem heavy and dark, with small pieces of ice forming along the edges. If it's autumn or spring, the wind might carry a damp chill, hinting at distant rain. You walk along the waterfront, listening to the soft sound of waves lapping against the shore, the occasional cry of a gull. Near the market square, you may see small stalls, some selling crafts, some offering warm drinks and snacks. The scent of coffee, pastries, and perhaps grilled salmon drifts gently through the air, mixing with the smell of the sea. The city feels both alive and unhurried. Even the traffic seems to move at a considerate speed, as if aware that rushing would disturb the calm. You look up towards the hill where the white Helsinki Cathedral stands, its steps rising wide and generous. Its green domes and pale facade are like a quiet guardian watching over the city and the sea. Eventually you'll climb those steps too, but for now you're content to walk, breathe, and let the rhythm of Helsinki sink into your body. Each step you take is like another gentle stroke on the surface of your thoughts, smoothing them out, calming their edges. Finland is slowly teaching you how to move more softly through the world. And as the morning unfolds, you realize something simple and comforting. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to see every sight. You can just be here in this light, in this air, and that already feels like enough. You turn away from the harbor and begin to wander further into the city. The streets of Helsinki are not overwhelming. They unfold in a gentle human scale. Simple facades in muted colors, wide sidewalks, carefully planned crossings. The traffic lights blink calmly, and people wait patiently for the green signal before they cross. A tram glides by, its metal wheels singing softly on the tracks. The sound isn't harsh. It's more like a gentle brush stroke across the city's quiet canvas. You watch it for a moment, green and white windows glowing slightly, then continue walking. You pass small boutiques, bookstores, and design shops. In the windows, you see objects that seem to capture the essence of Finland. Wooden bowls, minimal lamps, soft woolen blankets, clean lines, and natural materials. There's no clutter, no unnecessary decoration. Everything has a purpose, a quiet beauty. Eventually, the cool air curls around your fingers and nose, reminding you that warmth is waiting inside somewhere. You find a cafe, a small place with large windows and yellow lights spilling out onto the street. When you open the door, a soft bell rings. Inside, the air is warm and scented with coffee, cardamom, and baked goods. You order something simple. A coffee, a tea, maybe a cinnamon roll, korvapusti with its spirals of dough and sugar. You carry your cup and plate to a small table by the window and sit down. The chair creaks softly as you settle in. You wrap your hands around the mug, feeling the warmth seep into your fingers. Outside, the world continues at its gentle pace. But in here, time feels even slower. You take a sip and then a bite, letting the flavors spread through your mouth. The sweetness is balanced by the slight bitterness of coffee or the comfort of tea, and the whole experience feels like a small, edible hug. Around you, people speak quietly. Finnish, Swedish, English, and perhaps other languages. No one talks loudly. Even laughter is soft, contained in small bursts. Some people are working on laptops, others reading books, others just sitting and staring thoughtfully out the windows, lost in their own gentle stories. You take out your phone for a moment, maybe to send a message or check something, but after a few seconds you put it away. It feels unnecessary here, like an intrusion into the calm. Instead, you simply sit, sip, breathe, and watch. Later, you step out again. The contrast between the warm cafe and the cool street waking you up in a refreshing way. You walk a little more, exploring side streets and small parks. You might visit a design museum or gallery, where objects and art pieces are displayed with plenty of space around them, allowing your eyes and mind to rest on each one. As the afternoon gently slides toward evening, the city's lights grow stronger. Windows glow golden against the cool air. Trams continue their slow journeys, and people head home wrapped in scarves and coats. You find yourself returning to your hotel, your legs pleasantly tired, your mind quiet and soothed. Helsinki has not shouted to impress you. It has simply existed around you with calm confidence, like a friend who is comfortable in silence. And as night approaches again, you begin to sense that this trip is not just about seeing Finland. It's about letting Finland teach you how to breathe more slowly, how to notice small things, how to let your thoughts move like snowflakes, light, unhurried, and free. Tonight, you decide to experience one of Finland's most cherished rituals, the sauna. You make your way to a public sauna by the sea, a modern wooden building that seems to grow naturally out of the shoreline. Its large windows glow warmly against the cool, darkening sky. As you approach, you can already feel the contrast. Outside, the air is crisp and fresh. Inside, there is a promise of deep, enveloping heat. You step through the door and into a world of steam, wood, and quiet voices. The scent of warm pine and clean water wraps around you immediately. You pay, receive instructions, and move into the changing area. Here, everyone is calm, unhurried. There is no rush, no fuss, just people moving in a simple rhythm. Undress, shower, sauna, cool down, repeat. It feels like entering into an old, gentle ritual that has been repeated thousands of times before you. You shower, letting warm water rinse over your skin. Then wrap a towel around yourself and step into the sauna. The door closes softly behind you, and the world changes. Inside, the light is low, filtered through wood and steam. You see benches rising in tiers, people sitting quietly, their eyes half closed, bodies relaxed. Their breathing is slow and steady. The air is hot, but not harsh. It feels alive, filled with tiny invisible waves that touch your skin and sink deep into your muscles. You sit down on the bench, the wood warm beneath you. At first, the heat feels strong, like a firm hand on your shoulders. You breathe carefully, letting the warm air fill your lungs in soft, measured sips. After a few minutes, your skin begins to glow, a thin layer of sweat forming, carrying away tension and fatigue. Someone stands and pours water over the hot stones. There's a gentle hiss, and a new wave of heat rolls through the room, softer than it sounds, like a heavy blanket being laid gently across your body. The steam rises, and the air wraps around you, thick and comforting. Your thoughts slow. The edges of your worries blur. All that exists is the warmth, your heartbeat, and the sound of your own breathing. After some time, enough for your body to fully surrender to the heat, you step out. The sauna door opens, and cool air brushes your skin like a sudden whisper. You walk carefully outside to the terrace by the sea. Depending on the season, you might see snow piled along the edges, the sea dark and heavy, small waves rolling slowly under the night sky. If it's winter and you're feeling brave, there may even be a hole cut in the ice where some people dip quickly into the freezing water before returning to the sauna. Whether you only stand outside wrapped in your towel or dare to touch the cold water, the contrast is unforgettable. The chill wakes every cell of your body, but not sharply. Instead, it feels like a reminder that you are alive, here, now, in this exact moment between fire and ice. You go back inside, returning to the sauna's embrace, feeling the warmth sink even deeper this time. Your muscles loosen more. Your mind grows clearer and quieter. It's as if all the noise you carried with you from home is slowly being drawn out through your skin, replaced by a quiet, grounded calm. When you finally shower, dress, and step back into the night, the city feels different. The air against your cheeks is cool but pleasant, and your body is warm from the inside out. Lights shimmer on the surface of the water, and the sky above you feels wide and kind. On your way back to the hotel, you walk a little more slowly. Each step is careful, present. The sounds of the city, a passing car, a distant tram, footsteps on the sidewalk, feel like part of a soft, ongoing lullaby. Tonight, when you return to your room and lie down to sleep, your body will remember the sauna. Your muscles will melt into the mattress. Your breathing will be low and deep, and you will fall asleep as if someone has wrapped you in a blanket made of warm wood and northern silence. After a peaceful time in Helsinki, you decide to travel north, deeper into the heart of Finland, toward Lapland. You opt for the night train, a long, quiet journey that will carry you through the darkness while you rest. At the station, the sky has already dimmed into shades of deep blue and violet. The platforms are lit by soft yellow lights, and your train waits patiently on the tracks, its windows glowing. You roll your suitcase along the platform, the wheels clicking gently over the ground, and find your carriage. Inside, the air is warm and filled with a faint scent of metal, fabric, and distant forests carried on people's clothes. You find your sleeping compartment, a small, cozy space with a narrow bed, a folded blanket, a pillow, and a window framing the night. You sit on the edge of the bed and listen as the train begins to breathe. A soft rumble through the floor, a distant clank of couplings, the subtle vibration of the engine. When the train finally starts to move, it does so in a smooth, slow glide, leaving the station behind like a dream fading from memory. You change into something comfortable, hang your coat, and sit by the window. Outside, Helsinki's lights slide by, then grow fewer and fewer. Soon, you're passing through the outskirts, quiet neighborhoods, small clusters of houses, patches of dark forest. The sky above is a deep, endless dome. The rhythm of the train settles into a steady pattern. The wheels sing softly on the rails, a constant, comforting sound. You feel each gentle sway, each tiny shift in direction, as if the train is cradling you in its long iron arms. You lie down on the narrow bed, pulling the blanket over yourself. The mattress is firm but familiar, like a guest bed in a distant relative's home. You turn off the light in your compartment, leaving only the night outside and the faint glow from the hallway. Your eyes adjust slowly. Through the window, you see silhouettes of trees passing by. Tall, dark pines standing like quiet guardians of the night. Sometimes you glimpse a small, distant house with a single warm light in the window, alone in the vastness of the Finnish landscape. The train continues its steady journey north. You feel yourself being rocked, gently but endlessly, as if the whole country is humming a low, wordless lullaby through the rails. Your thoughts drift further apart, like leaves on a slow river. You think about where you're headed. Lapland, land of deep snows, quiet forests, reindeer, and long winter nights. You imagine stepping out into a world where the snow muffles every sound, where the sky can suddenly burst into green and purple light. Eventually, thoughts fade. Your breathing settles into a deep, even rhythm that matches the train's. Outside, dark fields and forests slip by unseen. Inside, you are safe, warm, and carried. You fall asleep to the sound of metal on metal, a steady, repeating lullaby stretching into the northern night. When you wake, the train is still moving, but the quality of the light has changed. Pale morning filters through the window, soft and blue-tinted. You blink, sit up slowly, and pull the curtain aside. Outside, the world is white. Snow blankets the ground, the trees, the roofs of small houses. Tall pines and slender birch trees stand like quiet, patient figures along the tracks, branches dusted in frost. The sky above is soft and muted, as if the entire world has been wrapped in cotton. You get dressed, pack your things, and sit on the edge of the bed for a moment, watching this winter landscape slide gently past. There's a deep, peaceful silence in the view. Even though you can't hear it, you can feel it. The snow absorbs every imaginary sound, leaving behind only stillness. The train begins to slow, and the announcement comes that your station is approaching, a small town in Lapland, far from the bigger cities. You gather your bag, step into the corridor, and move toward the exit with the other passengers. When the doors open, the cold hits you immediately, but in a crisp, clean way. The air feels sharper here, like a cool hand brushing your face. You step down onto the snowy platform, hearing the soft crunch under your boots. Your breath leaves your mouth in a cloud of white, and you feel awake in a way you haven't felt for a long time. The station is small and simple, surrounded by snow-covered roofs and quiet streets. There's no rush, no loud announcements, no crowds pushing past each other. People collect their bags, greet waiting friends or family, and move off calmly into the town. You make your way to your accommodation, a small cabin or lodge on the edge of the forest, a little distance from the center. Whether you walk or take a short taxi ride, the journey is quiet and beautiful. Snowy fields pass by, frozen rivers or lakes lie motionless under a white blanket, and the forest stands steady and present in every direction. Your cabin is made of wood, warm light shining softly through its windows. Smoke might rise gently from a chimney, carrying with it the faint smell of burning wood. As you step inside, you're immediately embraced by warmth. The air smells like pine, wool, and the lingering memory of previous fires in the hearth. You take off your coat, feeling the sting of cold slowly fade from your skin. Inside, everything is simple. A bed with thick blankets, a small table, perhaps a fireplace or a heater, a window looking out onto the forest. It feels less like a hotel and more like a temporary home that has been waiting quietly for you. You drop your bag and sit by the window, looking out at the trees. Snow clings to every branch, and the light outside is soft and blue, as if the day itself is still waking up. There are no tall buildings, no traffic, no crowds. only the deep, steady presence of nature. Here in Lapland, time moves differently. The day might be short in winter, with the sun hovering low on the horizon, painting the sky in shades of pink, orange, and pale gold. But even in the dimmest light, there's beauty in every direction. As you sit there, wrapped in warm air and silence, you realize that Finland has led you step by step into deeper stillness, from the city to the train, from the train to the snow-covered north. And the quiet you feel now is not empty at all. It's full of trees, snow, distant animal tracks, and the soft promise of what the night might bring. You decide to spend your first full day in Lapland moving slowly, like the snow itself drifting down from the sky. There is no rush, no tight schedule. Just a few gentle plans, like small lanterns placed along a path. After a simple breakfast, perhaps bread, cheese, eggs, and hot coffee or tea, you step outside dressed in warm layers. The cold greets you, crisp and alive, but your clothes protect you. Your boots sink into the snow with a soft crunch, each step leaving a clear trace behind you. The air is incredibly pure. When you inhale, it feels as if the oxygen travels all the way to the deepest corners of your lungs, waking up every cell in your body. There's almost no sound, just the faintest whisper of wind between the trees, and the soft, steady rhythm of your own footsteps. You follow a trail that leads into the forest. Tall pines rise around you, their trunks straight and strong, their branches heavy with snow. The trees stand close, like quiet guardians forming a living corridor. As you walk, snowflakes may start to fall, large gentle flakes drifting slowly down, landing lightly on your coat and hat. You pause now and then to listen. What you hear is not noise, but it's absence. No cars, no voices, no distant sirens. Just breath, wind, and the faint creak of snow shifting under its own weight. Later you might join a short reindeer or husky sled ride, not as a thrill seeker, but as a quiet observer. You sit wrapped in blankets, the sled gliding over the snow. Reindeer antlers lift proudly against the sky, or a team of huskies runs ahead, their paws barely making a sound on the packed trail. The sled glides through forests, across frozen fields, along trails that have been used for generations. The movement is steady and soothing, like being gently pulled through a dream. Cold air kisses your face, and your nose and cheeks tingle, but it feels good, alive. When you return to your cabin or lodge, warmth welcomes you like an old friend. You hang your coat to dry, your boots leaving small puddles of melted snow by the door. Inside you drink something hot, tea, cocoa, or coffee, feeling the warmth spread through your fingers and chest. The afternoon may be short. In winter, the sun doesn't linger in the sky, but its farewell is beautiful. Through the window, you see the light slowly shift from soft blue to shades of pink and purple. The snow reflects these colors, turning the whole landscape into a gentle, silent painting. You might sit by a fireplace, watching the flames move. Each crackle is a quiet reminder of life, of warmth, of the simple joy of existing in this small, safe space while the cold night gathers outside. You don't need constant activity here. The day is not measured in tasks, but in sensations. The crunch of snow, the breath of cold air, the comfort of warmth on your skin, the sight of trees standing patient in the fading light. As evening approaches, you feel both pleasantly tired and deeply calm. You have walked, seen, felt, and listened, but you haven't rushed. Lapland has its own rhythm, and you're starting to move in time with it. And somewhere inside you, a small, quiet anticipation begins to grow. Because tonight, the sky itself might decide to speak. Night comes early in Lapland. The sky deepens slowly, turning from soft blue to darker shades of indigo and navy. The snow on the ground grows brighter by contrast, glowing faintly in the moonlight or the faint reflection of distant lights. Tonight, you set out for one simple purpose: to stand beneath the northern sky and wait. You put on your warmest clothes layer upon layer, until you feel wrapped like a cocoon. Then you step outside, your breath rising in visible clouds. Your guide, if you have one, leads you and a small group away from the lights of town, following a path into deeper darkness. If you go alone, you walk carefully along a cleared trail, away from the glow of windows and street lamps. The snow crunches beneath your boots, and the trees rise like tall, dark shadows around you. Eventually, you reach a clearing, a wide, open space where the sky stretches unbroken from one horizon to the other. You tilt your head back and look up. First, you see only stars, many more than you're used to, scattered across the sky like grains of salt on dark velvet. Some are bright, some faint, some clustered in thick bands. You feel very small beneath them, but not in a frightening way. It's more like being a single, quiet breath in a sleeping giant's chest. You wait. The cold nibbles at your fingertips and toes, but your clothes protect you, and you move a little from time to time to keep warmth in your body. Around you, other people speak in low voices or stand in silence. The snow reflects the faint starlight, giving the ground its own gentle glow. The minutes pass. Maybe nothing happens at first. The sky remains a canvas of stars. You remind yourself that nature doesn't perform on command. This is not a show with tickets and guaranteed effects. It's a quiet possibility, and just standing here under this wild northern sky is already worth something deep and real. Then, almost when you've stopped expecting it, you notice something. A faint, pale band appears near the horizon. It looks like a thin cloud at first, almost transparent. But it moves differently, stretching, bending, flowing. Slowly, it grows brighter, tinged with a soft green. You watch as this shimmering arc climbs higher, twisting gently like a slow river of light. The stars behind it blink in and out as it passes. The pale green deepens, and for a moment, hints of pink or violet appear at the edges, like a secret being whispered in color. The northern lights, aurora borealis, are dancing above you. Not loudly, not violently, but in a quiet, fluid motion that feels almost alive. The sky becomes a moving painting, light sliding and curling, sometimes fading, sometimes brightening. You stand there, your body still and your mind wide open. Thoughts fall silent. Labels, explanations, worries. They all step aside, making space for pure, wordless awe. You're just a person standing in the snow, looking up, while the Earth's magnetic field and solar particles play out a slow, ancient conversation in the sky. You feel something shift inside you. Not a dramatic revelation, not lightning in your mind, but a gentle realignment. As if the pieces of your life, your stresses, fears, hopes, questions, suddenly look smaller against this universe of moving light. After a while, the lights fade. They don't vanish all at once. They simply grow thinner, paler, merging back into the darkness like breath disappearing into air. The stars return to their steady watch. You're still there on the snow, your cheeks cold, your nose red, your eyes wide and bright. You walk back slowly, the crunch of your footsteps now joined by something new inside your chest. A quiet, glowing memory that will stay with you long after the snow has melted and the night has ended. Back at your cabin or lodge, the cold night remains outside, resting quietly against the windows. Inside, Warmth gathers in corners and rises toward the ceiling. A fire crackles in the hearth, or a heater glows gently, filling the room with soft, steady heat. You sit close to the warmth, still wrapped in some of your layers, feeling the cold slowly release its grip on your fingers and toes. Your cheeks tingle as they return to normal temperature, and there's a pleasant heaviness in your limbs, part tiredness, part contentment. A candle flickers on the table, casting long shadows on the wooden walls. The room is dim, but not in a way that hides things. Instead, the low light makes everything feel more intimate, more honest. The chairs, the table, the mug in your hands, they all exist clearly in their small circle of light, as if each object is quietly aware of its own presence. You pour yourself a hot drink, tea, cocoa, or something comforting, and wrap both hands around the cup. The heat moves from the ceramic into your skin, then deeper, spreading into your chest and stomach. You take a slow sip, tasting warmth and sweetness. If you're with others, someone might tell a story, a memory from a past trip, a legend about the northern lights, a simple description of life in these latitudes. If you're alone, your mind becomes the storyteller, replaying scenes from the day. The forest, the snow, the silvery sky, the dancing aurora. The fire pops softly from time to time, sending small sparks up the chimney. Shadows move slowly on the walls as the flames shift and change. The rhythm of the room is easy and slow, like a lullaby sung without words. You think about how far you are from your everyday life. From screens and notifications, from tall buildings and crowded streets, from to-do lists and unfinished projects. Here your tasks are simple. Stay warm, drink something hot, rest your body, let your mind breathe. You realize that you feel different, not like a tourist checking locations off a list, but like a guest in a very old, very quiet house made of snow and trees and sky. Outside, the night stretches out over forests and frozen lakes, over animals moving softly through the dark, over small houses with warm lights in their windows. The north is vast, but you don't feel lost in it. You feel gently held. Your eyelids grow heavier. The warmth, the dim light, the soft sounds, they all invite you to sleep. You blow out the candle or switch off the lamp, and the room sinks into darkness, broken only by the faint glow of embers or the soft light escaping around the curtains. You crawl under thick blankets, feeling their weight press you gently into the mattress. The fabric is cool at first, then slowly warms around you, creating a nest of softness. As you lie there, wrapped in heat and darkness, you realize that the north is not cold at its heart. It's quiet, yes. It is vast and sometimes severe. But inside its snow and shadows, there is a deep, steady warmth. And now that warmth is inside you too. The next day, you decide to visit a frozen lake, a wide, open space where water and sky almost blend into one another. After breakfast, you bundle up again and follow a path through the trees. The air is still, the snow crunches under your feet, and your breath curls out in small clouds with every exhale. Eventually, the trees open up, and there it is. A lake, completely frozen, its surface covered in a layer of snow that sparkles in the pale light. The horizon is a gentle line where white earth meets soft sky. You step carefully onto the lake, following a marked trail. The ice beneath your feet is thick and strong, but you still feel a small, thrilling awareness of the water resting deep below, frozen in place for the season. Each step makes a soft, muffled sound, different from the crunch of snow on land. Out here, the silence is even deeper. The forest stands at the edges, watching quietly. The sky above stretches unbroken, a soft dome over this frozen plain. You stand in the middle of it all, a single figure on a vast white canvas. You stop walking and simply listen. Maybe a faint breeze touches your face, or a distant bird calls. Maybe there is nothing at all. No sound but your breathing and the echo of your own heartbeat. You look down at your footprints, a clear trail behind you. Each print is sharp and defined, showing exactly where you've come from. Ahead, the snow remains untouched. In this moment, you can't help but think of your life, where you've been, where you're going. The footprints are like days, decisions, moments that have led you here, to this quiet lake in Finland. The untouched snow ahead is everything that hasn't happened yet. And for once, that unknown doesn't feel frightening. Feels open, spacious, full of possibility. You kneel down and touch the snow with your glove. It's soft and dry like cold powder. You scoop a little into your hand, squeeze it gently, and watch as it crumbles again, sparkling in the light. Later you might try a simple winter activity, sliding gently on skates if the lake is prepared for it, or just walking around, observing the patterns of wind and snow on the ice. Each motion is a reminder that your body is here, anchored in this moment, in this landscape. When you return to shore, you look back once more at the lake, now behind you. Your footprints will eventually fade under new snow, but the memory of standing in that silent, open space will stay. On your way back through the forest, you feel lighter. The trees seem familiar now, like friends you've passed several times on the same path. The cold no longer feels like an enemy to be escaped from, but a presence to be understood, a quiet partner in this northern world. By the time you reach your cabin again, the idea of home has stretched a little. It's no longer just the place you came from. It now includes this wooden room, this lake, this forest, this snow. And in your mind, you carry a new kind of reflection, not in water, but in memory. A reflection of yourself standing calmly on a frozen lake, small but steady, surrounded by silence and space. Eventually, your days in Lapland draw to a gentle close. There is no dramatic ending, no sudden rush, just a quiet understanding that it's time to move again. You pack your bag slowly, folding clothes that now smell faintly of wood smoke and cold air. You take one last look out the window at the snow-covered trees, their branches heavy and patient. As you leave your cabin, you close the door softly behind you, almost as if you're trying not to wake someone sleeping. Outside, the cold greets you one more time, but now it feels familiar, like the steady handshake of a friend. You return to the small station or bus stop, watching the white landscape pass by one last time. The train arrives, its lights cutting through the pale day, and you step on board. The warmth inside feels different now. Not a surprise, but a known comfort. The train begins to move southward, retracing the path you took in the night not so long ago. You sit by the window again, but this time you are fully awake, watching the scenery in reverse. Frozen lakes, fields, forests, and small towns slide past, each one quietly continuing its own life as you glide by. You notice details you might have missed before. The way snow gathers on the roofs of little red wooden houses, the faint tracks of animals crossing open spaces, the way light rests gently on the tops of trees. As kilometers pass, you feel a soft layering inside you, a collection of moments, sensations, and memories. The crunch of snow, the heat of the sauna, the dance of the northern lights, the silence of the frozen lake. Each experience settles into its place, forming a quiet constellation in your mind. You are leaving, but you don't feel like you're losing anything. Finland has given you something you can take with you, something you don't need a suitcase for. A slower rhythm, a deeper breath, a softness around the edges of your thoughts. The further south you go, the more the landscape shifts. Snow thins, forests change, towns grow larger. The sky may brighten, the days grow slightly longer. Eventually, familiar signs of the city begin to appear again. More buildings, more roads, the subtle energy of a larger population. When the train pulls into Helsinki once more, you feel a small, gentle ache in your chest, the kind you get when leaving a quiet, beloved place. But there is peace in it too. You're not being torn away. You're simply moving along your path. You step onto the platform, the hum of the city wrapping around you again, softer now that you've learned to listen differently. You roll your suitcase along the station floor, feeling the echo of the north still alive in your muscles and lungs. It's not goodbye, you think, as you walk through the city once more. It's more like closing the cover of a book you can always open again. On your final evening in Finland, you return to the water. The Baltic Sea has been waiting the whole time, breathing in its own slow rhythm at the edge of the city. You walk down to the harbor, the air cool and a little salty, the sky painted in soft evening colors, pink, orange, pale blue fading into gray. Boats rest at their moorings, their ropes creaking softly. The water moves in small, gentle waves, tapping quietly against the shore. You find a spot to sit, a bench, a low wall, a rock near the edge. You sit down, pull your coat a little tighter around you, and let your gaze drift over the water. Helsinki is behind you and beside you, its buildings glowing warmly as lights turn on in apartments, restaurants and cafes. Trams still glide along their tracks, cars move slowly across distant bridges, and people walk by, wrapped in coats and scarves. The city feels like a living thing that has learned how to be calm. You think back over your journey. The airport at night, the plane slicing through the sky, the gentle arrival in Helsinki, the warmth of the cafe, the deep, embracing heat of the sauna. The night train rocking you to sleep, the snow-covered world of Lapland, the northern lights painting the sky, the frozen lake reflecting your quiet thoughts. Each memory feels like a soft layer of snow laid carefully over the ground of your mind. No moment is overwhelming. All of them together create a gentle, muffled landscape of experiences that soften the noise inside you. You listen to the sounds around you now. The water, the distant murmur of voices, the faint hum of the city. None of it is loud or demanding. It all blends into a gentle background, like the softest white noise, perfect for falling asleep to. As you sit there, the air cools slowly. The sky darkens bit by bit, stars beginning to appear above the water. The line between sea and sky grows thinner, until they almost merge into one continuous, dark blue space. You breathe in, slowly and deeply, filling your lungs with the cool Baltic air. You breathe out, letting go of something each time, a little more tension, a little more worry, a little more of the weight you brought with you when you first came here. You realize that Finland has not tried to impress you with drama or spectacle. Even the aurora, in all its quiet magic, was not loud. Everything here, the cities, the forests, the lakes, the people, seems to share the same gentle wisdom, that life doesn't always need to shout to be full. When you finally stand up and turn away from the water, the sea stays with you, not as a sound or a picture, but as a feeling. A slow, steady, rocking calm like the movement of waves far below the surface. You walk back to your hotel through streets you now recognize. A certain corner, a tram stop, a cafe window where you once sat. The city says good night in 100 small ways. Closing doors, dimming lights, quieter footsteps. This is your last night here, but you don't feel an urge to capture everything. You've already captured enough. inside your chest where it matters. Morning comes, and with it, the gentle certainty that it's time to go home. You pack your suitcase again, folding clothes that now hold traces of smoke, snow, and sauna heat. You check the drawers and corners of the room. Nothing left behind except maybe a little piece of your heart. You roll your bag down the hotel hallway, take the elevator to the lobby, and step outside into the cool air one last time. Helsinki greets you with the same quiet dignity it has shown from the beginning. No big farewell, no dramatic goodbye. Just the simple, steady continuation of its own rhythm. At the airport, everything feels familiar now. You move through check-in and security with calm, practiced motions. You know the sounds, the signs, the rhythm of the place. You find your gate and sit down by a large window, looking out at the planes waiting on the tarmac. As you wait, you let your mind drift. You remember the crunch of snow under your boots, the warmth of wooden walls around a crackling fire, the soft glow of candles in a dark room. You remember the slow rocking of the night train, the pale blue morning light over a frozen landscape, and the silent dance of the northern lights over your head. You also remember small things, the taste of cinnamon, the weight of a warm mug in your hands, the feel of your own breath in the cold air, the way your eyelashes almost froze for a second when the temperature dropped. All these details have become a part of you now, woven into the fabric of your memory. Your flight is called. You stand, walk to the gate, and step once more into the narrow corridor that leads to the plane. When you board and find your seat, it feels like the completion of a circle. You sat here once on your way into Finland, and now you sit here again, leaving it. The plane takes off, rising smoothly into the sky. You watch as Helsinki grows smaller, its islands and harbors shrinking beneath you. The white and gray landscape of Finland stretches out for a while longer, then slowly disappears behind a layer of clouds. Above the clouds, the world is bright and simple. The sky is clear, the sun shines on the wing outside your window, and the plane glides forward with steady certainty. Somewhere between Finland and your home, you close your eyes. Not because you're exhausted, but because you want to feel this transition without distractions. As you sit there, eyes closed, you realize that you are not really leaving Finland behind. The country is still there, of course, its forests, lakes, and cities continuing their quiet existence. But a piece of it is also inside you now. You carry its silence in the way your thoughts have grown softer. You carry its snow in the way you've learned to let worries fall and settle without trying to stop them. You carry its saunas in the warmth you now know you can create inside yourself, even when the world outside feels cold. You carry its night skies in the way you look at your life with a little more space, a little more awe, a little more acceptance. When the plane finally begins its descent toward your home, you feel different from the person who left. Not radically changed, not transformed into someone else, but gently shifted like a piece of ice that has slowly turned to water. Still the same, but more fluid, more at peace. You land, step out, and make your way back through familiar corridors, familiar streets, familiar doors. Home receives you with all its usual sounds and shapes. Yet, when night comes and you lie down in your own bed, closing your eyes and letting your breathing slow, something else is there too. You can still feel the soft weight of thick blankets in a wooden cabin, the faint glow of a fireplace, the distant hush of snow falling outside. You can still see the sky opening above you in quiet curtains of green light. And as you drift toward sleep, you realize that you don't need to be in Finland anymore to feel what it gave you. The calm, the space, the softness, they are all here in your chest, in your breath, in the way you let your thoughts move. You are home, but the north is with you now. And as you slide gently into sleep, You are once again walking through snow, beneath tall trees, under a wide, star-filled sky, where everything is quiet, everything is soft, and everything is peacefully, beautifully still.